What's going on, vinyl community? It's LJ. And this continues forward from my last vinyl update, which was the metal stack. This is the non-metal stack. What's going on in the background is Lyle Lovett, with Pontiac. This is the first Lyle Lovett album that I've picked up on vinyl. I'm loving it. It's pretty cool stuff. Promo, gold stamp, nice stuff. It's from 1987. It's on Curb Records. Really good album. We're gonna get swinging there. Hope everybody's doing well. Huge thanks to all the new subscribers in the last week or so. Really appreciate you guys kind of jumping on, joining in. You must have seen something you liked. And again, to everybody that hangs on and hangs in there, I don't know why you do, but thanks for doing so. Now, I said the non-metal stack or the non-rock and metal stack. So a few things to cover here. Why can't it always be metal? I want it to always be metal. Why can't it always be metal? Reason number one. Since people started collecting vinyl again, I mean really collecting vinyl again, metal has become expensive. And the competition is fierce. Everybody's looking for it. So albums that I used to pay $1 or $2 for are now 15 to 20 bucks for a nice copy. Number two. I don't listen to metal all the time. I listen to other things too. I love southern rock, I love rock, I like jazz, I like country. You can't listen to one genre all the time. I don't, and neither should you. Branch out. You might be quite surprised one of these days when you learn that your favorite heavy metal hero, like a Kerry King of Slayer, or a Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, or even the frontman for Obituary, for all I know, might just go ahead and cite Rick Springfield as one of his greatest influences. Be surprised. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Branch out. And number three. Metal gets pricey. The only thing I trust about my father's trust fund is I trust he didn't have one. That out of the way, here's a handful of country finds. I haven't really shown a whole lot of that lately, and I want to get it out there because I have been picking stuff up. So let's honky-tonk together. Here's a Boxcar Willie, Take Me Home. This was a total blind buy, but it was really fun listen. It's from 1980, so kind of just good old railroad, train track country music. It was good stuff. I was pretty surprised. Lyle Lovett still playing in the background. Here's Emmylou Harris, Luxury Liner. It's from 77. Emmylou quickly became a favorite once I started listening to country. The girl can do no wrong, especially with her 70s material. These three were blind buys. They were all in the same bin. They were bought based on year, based on cover. So anybody that has any familiarity or history with this guy, I've started looking up a little. Let me know. Here's Doug Kershaw. This is a Cajun way. All I've learned about Doug right now is that this boy can play a violin like nobody's business. Some very cool kind of Bayou Cajun kind of stuff. Really, really neat. Here's Ragin' Cajun, and there's a good picture of Doug on the back of this. Check that out. So take a look at that cover. That's just Doug in the bayou and all sorts of cool stuff going on there. So everything about this shouted just Louisiana bayou violin goodness, and I couldn't leave him. I'd never ever seen these or never heard of him on vinyl. And here is Swamp Grass. That was the one that I saw. I was like, what's that all about? And I plucked that out. So that looked very cool. I haven't listened to any of these. I've just looked up a few quick YouTube clips, but it looks like pretty cool stuff, I mean, for right now. So if you're a big Doug Kershaw fan or know where to start, let me know. I've also been trying to get into some Buck Owens, and Buck can be hard to find. I showed a few Buck albums in one of my last updates, but Buck and his Buckaroos have really started to work for me. So here's Sweet Rosie Jones. These all turned up over the course of a couple of weeks at the same store. The covers are a little rough, this one is just split open. But the vinyl is great, and once you get it into a sleeve, you never even know the difference because you only ever pull the record out anyways. So here's Sweet Rosie Jones. I haven't spun any of these yet. I have the couple other Buck Owens I have. So it's really cool to find 5 more. I think the last one I found was his second album. Here's Under Your Spell Again. And again, same thing like with Doug Kershaw, and anybody that's watching this, that's into this, let me know, oh, it's a great Buck album, or that's not the best one. I'm still learning, still a student, but loving it. This is Buck Sings Harlan Howard. This one looks very cool. Love the write-up on the back. These are all original Capitol presses. And this one excited me. One thing I've always loved is country gospel. And this is Buck and the Buckaroos, Your Mother's Prayer. I do have a couple of other country gospel albums. And I don't know why, but just something about something being south of the Mason-Dixon and country music on a Sunday morning. And even though it's gospel, I know it can be bland, but it hits, it resonates, it works, and I love it. Sunday Morning with Charlie Pride was one of the last ones I just found, and I know Elvis has one that I'm kind of trying to see if I can land a copy as well. So it was very cool. This I was just like, what? This is Buck Hot Dog, and this is from 1988. But one thing I was sure of is it wasn't going to show up again. So the time to grab it is when you see it. If anyone knows anything about that album, let me know. A few more country ones. Here's Sawyer Brown. I kind of grabbed this for sake of completeness. This is Somewhere in the Night. I have one other. I think it's Smokin' or Shakin' from Sawyer Brown. But I didn't have this, and I do remember hearing this growing up on the radio. So I grabbed that. It was cheap. This is pretty cool. This is Desert Rose Band. I grabbed two. They're sticking together because they're going to shrink. Desert Rose Band, this is running, so that's Chris Hillman from the Byrds, and he had the Desert Rose Band in the 80s. It's actually pretty solid stuff. I mean, look at that suit jacket. Can you see that? Anybody with a suit jacket like that is serious. I had their Greatest Hits album. This is on Curb, the same imprint of MCA that this Lyle Lovett album is on. This is from 1988. It's really solid, good stuff. And I mean, Chris Hillman, coming off Sweetheart of the Rodeo and the country rock, he's obviously got country roots. And this was in the same bin. This is Tanya Tucker's Tennessee Woman. I really like Tanya. I really like her 70s stuff. One thing I do know is that coming out in 1990, that chances of seeing this ever again were pretty slim. And if I did, and it was on eBay or whatever, I was going to end up paying a mint for it. And that wasn't going to be an option. So it's near mint. It's on Capitol. I knew it was one of those. You just look at the year. You're like, 1990? That's not going to show up. So I haven't listened to it yet. I have no idea if it's any good or not. But if you do, let me know. Use the comments. That's it for the country. I want to move on to some 12-inch singles because we talked about those in a video not long ago, how I don't really collect them unless they show up and they're picture sleeved and it's stuff I like. I just don't want cubes and cubes of them because I can't get up every 5 minutes and change the record. It's not going to work. I'm just not that active. Here's Billy Idol. This is Don't Stop. I'm not that active. It's bad. Kind of more of an EP than a 12-inch single. It's got Moni Moni, Baby Talk, Untouchables, and a different version, longer, of Dancing With Myself. That was cool. This is a 12-inch single. This is Run DMC, Walk This Way. It's got Walk This Way and an instrumental. This was just all over the radio as a kid, so why not? And this one was pretty cool. This is Soft Cell, and this, again, more of an EP. It has Tainted Love, Where Did Our Love Go, also Memorabilia, and Tainted Dove. It's in really nice shape, kind of a 4-song EP, but I thought that was a cool grab. This is a great soundtrack. Oh man, this is just one of my favorite movies ever. I know I'm such a total guy, but First Blood, I love this movie. Everything about it, from the cinematography to the atmosphere to the sound. What a great, great, great movie. I wouldn't have cared if Stallone didn't do anything after this. Absolutely love First Blood. Right up there in one of my top 10 movies of all time. And I've been looking for the soundtrack for a dog's age. I guess that means 7 years. I don't know if it's been that long, or is dog's years 6 years? I don't know. Use the comments. It's on That's Entertainment Records. This was released by, I always say Varice Sarabande, but I've heard other people, really just butcher that. Varice Sarabande. So, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, it's Goldsmith's score to First Blood. This was a killer find. This is just one of those soundtracks that, it's not like Grease. It's not in every thrift store bin, so it took a while. I'm not a huge B-52s fan, but I do know Cosmic Thing doesn't show up very often, so I figured maybe it might be something that somebody may want to trade. I do like some of their earlier stuff, like Rock Lobster, and I have those as well. I actually can't stand Love Shack, but this has Rome on it, which is a great track. And this is a Columbia House pressing, and what's this, from 89, 90? I know it does not show up often, that much I know. If you got something you think I might dig and you want to trade, let me know. Here's Level 42's World Machine. I have this as well. Something About You is one of the best songs ever. I absolutely love that song. But what I didn't have was a German press, and that's what this is. And it actually sounds amazing. It sounds better than my US press. Don't ask me why. This had no business being in a thrift store bin. No. Nope, you can't see Charlie Brown Christmas in a thrift store bin for 50 cents and not rescue it, especially when it's in great shape. I mean, come on. That's Charlie Brown. Who donated that? Bad. Shame on you. Robert Cray, Strong Persuader. Definitely trying to ramp up the Robert Cray, so when this showed up, it was an absolute must-have. King's Drummer was just talking about Robert Cray, and he instantly made me add that stuff to my wish list. Very, very stoked to see that show up. Great album. Great song. see, here's the Animals, Greatest Hits Live. I'm always digging anything Eric Burden is doing. I like the Animals. This is from 1984. What I dug about this was it's on the IRS label, which if you collect REM, you've seen the IRS label a lot. So I was kind of surprised to see it show up on IRS, and I figured I'd check it out. It's live, like the cover states. Imagine that. It's from 1983 at Wembley Arena in London. It wasn't bad. It wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't bad. It's a keeper, or maybe in the future it'll be a trader. Here's 3 more, and then we're going to cut this non-metal rock stack short, but here's a rock album. This is Supertramp. I did not have a copy of this. I saw Vance, Zep Pearl, show this recently in the VK Lounge. So this was pretty cool. I was excited to find this. I have the more popular Supertramp albums, 4 or 5 of them, but I definitely didn't have this, and I had never heard it. I wasn't familiar with it. I also can't find a year on it, so whoever made this knew one day LJ was going to do a Vinyl Community video, and he was going to want to say what year this was, and he wouldn't be able to, so haha on him. But anyways, this is Supertramp. Looks to be like the first album. I don't even know, but I can't wait to spin it. And here's 2 from the Michael Stanley Band. I showed a live album from Michael Stanley Band, Stage Pass, and highly recommended it. Michael Stanley Band's great stuff, just great 70s rock. Kind of like a Jay Gals band, or I want to say Southside Johnny, but not quite like that. More like Jay Gals. Just really good stuff. This is Heartland. This is from 1980. Again, just rock solid rock and roll. That was a great album. And this is Cabin Fever. This is a bit earlier, from 78. Pretty disturbing back cover. That's, I don't know, is he a wrestler? I think I have that outfit. Anyways, so Cabin Fever, another one from Michael Stanley Band, just rounding out the collection. I don't see them often, but they are good. And I guess the whole point of this is just to say, when you see it, grab it, give it a chance. You might like it. And that's it for now for the rock and non-rock and metal stack. Hope you guys dug it. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you know about Doug Kershaw. Just do me a favor. Don't go Wikipedia, because I can do that myself. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Ciao.